So thirsty. It's a really frustrating cycle because I get thirsty every day. I walk all the way to this well to exert all this effort into lowering the bucket down into the well, and then even more effort in pulling it out full of water. And then I take it home, I drink it, I feel fine. And then I get thirsty again. It's as if this thing that's supposed to satisfy me is really just bringing me down. I'm starting to get really tired of this whole drinking water business. But one day, I walked to the well, and there was a man there. Already a little bit awkward. I don't really talk to strange men. It's just not what we do. And I could see that he was a Jew, and I'm a Samaritan. And Jews and Samaritans have no dealings with one another, so I walked over and tried to avoid making eye contact. As I was minding my own business, about to lower my bucket into the well, I heard a voice say, "Give me a drink." Was that the man over there that I was trying to avoid? So I looked over out of the corner of my eye to see if it was him. And sure enough, he was looking at me, his face awaiting a response. Well, like I said, I didn't want to talk to this man, so I said what I thought would make him not want to talk to me. And I said, "How is it that you, a Jew, ask me for a drink when I am a woman of Samaria?" Thought that ought to do the trick. But what he said to me was, "If you knew the gift of the Father, and who it is that is saying to you, 'Give me a drink,' you would have asked me, and I would have given it to you. Would have given you living water." What did he mean exactly? Why would I ask him for a drink when I'm clearly coming to the well with a bucket myself to get my own drink of water? I can find my own water, I thought. So I said to him, "Sir, how is it that you will get me water? You have nothing to draw water with, and the well is deep. Are you better than our father Jacob? He gave us this well, and he drank from it himself. So did his sons and livestock." Yes, that time I thought that he would stop talking to me and let me get my water, because I'm thirsty. But he kept talking to me. And he said, "Everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again." Well, I know. Stop right there, because I know. I've already expressed to you, I know all about being thirsty again. It's this frustrating cycle that I keep finding myself in. And he kept talking, saying, "But whoever drinks from the water that I will give to him will not be thirsty. And he who drinks of the water that I will give to him will become a spring of water within him, welling up to eternal life." Well, wouldn't that be nice? I thought to myself. Wouldn't that be nice to have a spring of water welling up within me so that I would never have to want? So that I would never have to search for something to quench my thirst? Wouldn't that be nice? But I don't believe that it can be true. I've never known anything like this living water. So I said to him almost jokingly, "Sure, give me this water so that I may not be thirsty and I won't have to come to this well to draw water anymore." And before I could even think of anything else to say, he said to me, "Go, call your husband and come here." I don't have a husband, I told him truthfully. And He knew I was telling the truth because he said, "What you are saying is true. You do not have a husband. You have had 5 husbands, and the one you have now is not your husband." How did he know that about me? I've never met this man before in my life. He's a stranger. It's not that I'm ashamed. I don't think I've done anything wrong. It's just that I need a husband to provide for me, to keep me safe, and I wanted love. And I got it. But it's embarrassing to know that this man knows that even after 5 husbands, once I didn't have that anymore, I didn't know how to remain full. I was so unhappy. And then I realized, and I said to him, "Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, but you say that in Jerusalem is the place where people ought to worship." And he said to me again something that threw me off. He said, "The time is coming, and is now come, when neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship the Father. But an hour is coming, and is now here, when true worshipers will worship in spirit and in truth." This man is shaking everything that I've ever known. You're supposed to worship in Jerusalem, and now he's telling me that all I have to do is worship in spirit and in truth, as if that was a location. And God will be satisfied with my worship? Well, since, like I told you, he was changing everything that I'd known, I told him what I do know. I know that Messiah is coming, the one they call Christ. When he comes, he will tell us all these things. And then I heard the sentence that changed my life. I looked at him this time, and he was looking at me with truthful eyes and with a gentle voice, and he said to me, "I who am speaking to you am he." I sat there quiet for a moment, and just then a group of 12 men came over to him. They were looking for this man, and I thought for sure they would make us stop talking to one another. But they didn't say anything. I was surprised by this, but then I realized what had just happened. Had I just met the Christ? The Messiah that we've been waiting for? So I ran into the town, and I told everyone, "Come and see this man. He told me everything that I ever did. Could he be the Christ?" And well, they started asking me about him. Like, "Oh, well, is he big and strong? Is he tall? Does he talk with a loud, booming voice? Does he wear the finest linens? Did he ride a cool horse?" I almost laughed because he was almost the opposite of what we all thought the Messiah would be like. But what I did tell them was he was very kind. People, especially Jewish men, don't just talk to me. They're not supposed to. And I didn't like it when he did. But he talked to me as if he knew me. As if he saw all the way into my dry and fallow heart. But even though he knew me, he still cared for me. And he loved me. And so as I told them this, and especially the Samaritans that I know, because I know that they're not just going to go and talk to random Jewish men. That's just not what we do, like I said. They went, and they listened to him, and they talked to him, and they looked him right in the face. And because of that, they came to believe that he was the Christ, I'm telling you this story. And, well, I think maybe that you can relate to me. I mean, everyone feels dry and thirsty every now and then, don't they? Maybe you, like me, have tried and sought for things that would quench your thirst. And of course, I don't just mean in your mouth. I don't just mean water. I mean something deeper. Something deep down within your soul. Maybe you're like me, and you need to talk to Christ. You need to see someone with their eyes looking back to you saying, I know you deeply. I know everything. Even if you don't tell me. But I still care for you. And maybe because of that, you can tell people that you know who wouldn't normally just go out and do those things. You know, Samaritans or something like that. And maybe they'll go and see him. And maybe they'll talk to him. And maybe they'll look in his face. And maybe the same thing will happen for them too, and they'll realize that he is the Christ. And maybe they'll come to believe. And like me, maybe they won't be thirsty anymore. I used to come to this well day after day, whenever my bucket of water that I had was empty. Whenever I felt that something was just missing. But now I come to it and I look at it and yes, I drink water still. I guess you need it to survive. But when I left that day, after talking to the Christ, I left my bucket there. And you know what? I'm not so thirsty anymore.